Welcome back to Stock Tricks with Nick for this week's Breakout Watchlist for December 7th to December 11th. If you are tuning in for the first time, we do these Breakout Watchlists on Sunday mornings, and then we do a live stream either on Tuesday or Wednesday called the Midweek Movers to take a look at the watch list, maybe update a couple names. And then on Friday, I do a trading recap of all the stocks that I personally traded and do some lesson learned from the mistakes that I made. Today, we'll be covering stocks that are setting up to break out within this next week. They have to be above their 200-day simple moving average, which itself is in an uptrend. We're looking for stocks with little overhead volume, so not much resistance above if we get to those prices. They have to have moves of 150% or more from their 52-week low. We want really strong stocks that have coiled up and are ready to pop again. And taking a quick look at last week's winners, we have COHU 37%, DNLI 19%, and AHCO 17%. All stocks that we had on last week's breakout watch list. So comment below if you took any of those trades, and congratulations on those. Please, if you enjoy this video, get anything out of it, leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you get notified of every time I post a new video. And give me a follow on StockTwits and Twitter, StockTwits, Twitter, and TikTok. That's Stock Tricks with Nick. All right, little disclaimer, trading has a lot of risk with it. Please do your own due diligence. Everything that we'll be covering today is for educational purposes only. And we jump to the stock breakout watch list. So I'm not going to go over each of these names because we're going to be doing that later on in the video, but wanted to highlight the 2 stars on here are positions that I already have. So with AXTI and TXG, I already have at least a starting position with them. All right, let's get into it. We'll start off with Apple. So this one just made the list because off the 52-week lows, we're sitting at 160% move there. So still qualifies, wanted 150% off the 52-week lows. Apple has been on the watch list before. We called it out right through this last range, and then it kind of broke down instead of breaking out. But you actually really like that action as long as you weren't already in the stock, because it pulled back and broke under this previous low. Typically a place where traders will use as a stop loss. So scratched a lot of traders on that day, and then it rallied on high volume and set up again. This is creating a really nice VCP setup, volatility contraction pattern, where you want each pullback to be on less and less magnitude. First one here, we have a 25% pullback. Then we have 15% and 7.5. So each one of those lighter and lighter. Coiling that range up, you can see the average true range down here getting nice and tight. And volume on the last 2 days of the sideways action was very light. You do have the 200-day simple moving average, and then the 50, the 20, the green line here, and the 8-day exponential moving average. So you have the right order of all the moving averages. Everything's in an uptrend. So what I'm looking for with this is possibly another 2 days or so trading sideways, really tightening up that range. That would be ideal. And then I would use a break over Thursday's high of 123.78 as a buy point. You can see we're already over the main part of this volume shelf, so we have some support on the downside. Also, we could use the 8-day exponential moving average as possible support. That's AAPL, Apple. Next, we have AMRC, and this was also on a watch list, I think maybe 2 weeks ago, where it was coming through this range, and we had a breakout on high volume that quickly faded the next day. But again, we want to keep these stocks, maybe not on our buy watch list, but on our overall watch list, because they can set up again, and that's exactly what AMRC is doing. The past week and a half or so, you see a lot of long lower wicks to the 20-day simple moving average. As someone who's on the outside of the trade right now, I love to see this because, again, it stops out a lot of traders as it's tightening up. You can see the average true range getting nice and tight through here. And you have the 8 and the 20 really close together. Another thing I wanted to point out was the volume pattern is exactly what you want to see. You have strong volume on the up days right there, and then the pullback days, very, very light volume. So I actually tried to buy this stock on Friday with a break over Thursday's high, but we never got there, so the order never filled. I'll be using the break over Friday's high, that would be 44.50, as a possible buy point, because then we would be reclaiming the 20-day and the 8-day exponential moving average, and being just basically at the top part of this volume profile right here. So that's AMRC. Let me zoom out so you guys see the full picture. Really strong uptrend, and we got that 250-28 action going. Next, we have AXTI, and this is a name that I am already in. I bought in on December 2nd as we undercut those previous lows with the lower wick here, and then we moved higher and reclaimed the previous day's high. So that was my buy point. That high was 984, got in at 987 with the fill. Since then, Thursday was an inside day with very, very light volume, and then we got some strength coming in on Friday. Opened up right at the same price, but that marked the low, and we ran all the way to what was the high on that day? 1014. And right now we're sitting just below $10 at $9.99. So what I would be looking to add is a break back over the high of Friday. That's 1014. The high on 1130 was my initial buy point, but once we got this undercut of the previous lows and a recapture of the high, that was my initial spot to put some size on. But you have 1013, 1014, so break over 1014 could be a buy point. With this name, I'm not putting a lot of position size on because you can see the 20-day simple moving average is still quite a bit away. Let's see, the close to now, still 12% away. So the chance that it gets up and rockets out is a little bit less because it's still extended. But if it does get going immediately, it can get going with power. So wanted to get some size on the position, but nothing too crazy. Next we have Chipotle, CMG. Let's see, so from the 52-week low, we have a move of 225%, so that qualifies. And then similar to Apple, we get that VCP volatility contraction pattern. So you have 15%. This one is a little bit, 14, basically the same. So you get those two pullbacks. The second pullback undercut the previous low, which again, you like because it knocks out those traders. And then you see this action getting tighter and tighter. Friday could have been a buy point for Chipotle with a break over December 1st high of 1324. But it's still not too far extended from the base to buy. So Monday, Tuesday, whatever, if we come in a little bit, challenge that 8-day exponential moving average, and then break over the high from Friday, that would be your buy point. So that would be 1337.72. That's Chipotle, CMG. Next, we have DAR, and this was on the watch list last week. And since then, we just got another week of kind of sideways action until Friday. Friday could have been a buy point as well for DAR because we did break over. We had two high points here, 49.64, 49.84, 49.85. So the 49.85 would have been the buy point. And we went all the way to 50.90, no, 50.09, sorry. So that could have been a buy point. Similar to Chipotle, it's not too far extended from the base. If we get a pullback on Monday to challenge that 8-day, and then a break over the high would be the buy point. So 50.09, break over that. And then zooming out, show you got the 200, the 50, 20, 8, all in the correct order. Really strong action through here. That's DAR. Next we have FND. So as everyone's staying at home, this made a nice run 250%, so that qualifies. We have a shaky VCP setup. I would just call it a pullback and then another one that undercut the previous low. So you like that because again, it shakes out those traders. Rallied right back up to the high, pulled back with some testing of the 50-day simple moving average, and then a nice bounce on Thursday, and then Friday was an inside day. So if we get a couple days of sideways action or a pullback without breaking over the high from Thursday, then the high from Thursday becomes a buyable spot. If we just get going on Monday, then you would want to use the all-time high that's 86.37 as a buy point. And you do have the 200, 50, 20, 8 all in the right order. That's FND. Next we have GPI. Zooming out here. Yeah, 420% move. You like that? So from the highs, we pulled back just above the 50-day simple moving average, 25% there. And then this did kind of rally all the way through here. A couple possible buy points, but this would have probably shaken out a lot of traders. So because we undercut the previous lows through here, this sets the trade up for me looking on the outside. And then on Thursday, we kept the rally going till Thursday. Then Friday, we had that inside day, maybe a lower low, lower high. Let's see. Yeah, lower low, lower high, but basically within that range, really light volume, sitting on the support of the volume profile there. You got the 250, 20, 8 on the same action. So a break over Thursday's high, 130.62 would be a possible buy point. That's GPI. Next we have IR. So this is an IPO, so you have to act a little bit quicker with these types of names. They're not going to give you as much time to set up, so it doesn't bother me as much that the 20-day simple moving average is still kind of lagging behind. But what we're looking at is just break over kind of the all-time highs here. I think 45.53, 45.58, 45.64. So break over 45.64. The candle from December 1st would be a buy point. You had a really strong move up through the high, 33% there. And then look at the average true range really coming in. This is about as tight that an IPO will get before it gets going again. So let's keep an eye on this guy. Next we have NVIDIA, NVDA. A lot of the larger names are starting to set up again. And you could see this was one that was showing really good relative strength while the market was pulling back in March. And then a move 230% to the highs. From there, we got red candle closes outside of the upper Bollinger Band are nearly always a bearish signal for at least a short-term pullback. Got a 21% pullback starting there. Got another one of 14%. This might be a little bit higher. 14%, basically the same through those two pullbacks. And then it just goes flat. And this is as tight of a range that you'll see with a big name, sitting just over that the largest part of the volume profile. Average true range coming way in, kind of zooming out. You can see volume getting lighter and lighter through here. You got that little dip, but really, really tight range. You could get a decent amount of size on the trade because your stop loss could be as tight as you want. You could do a split stop and put half of the stop under the previous lows from a couple days here. That's only 3.5%. And then with the rest, you can cover the rest of the month-long range. So really as tight of a range that you'll see on a big name that has moved so dramatically higher. So this is setting up for a big move. Is it up, down? I don't know. But if we buy on the breakout and put our stop loss in, you're taking probably a good risk reward trade. So a break over the high from Wednesday, that would be 540, call 547. That's NVIDIA, NVDA, not to confuse it with the next one, NVTA. This is one that we had on the watch list on this, after this pullback set the trade up. Really tough trade, tough stock to trade because we have those long upper wicks, lower wicks. Typically, the tougher setups, once they do get going, because they've shaken so many people out, they people will come back to the name and start bidding it up higher and higher. So um, outside of the one trade that I put on, took off for a small loss. I like this kind of action because it frustrates a large group of people. So what I'm looking for here, you see the largest volume days are green days. You see the ATR coming in basically the last week or so. Ideally, we get one more pullback to test that 8-day exponential moving average, maybe through Wednesday or so, and then that would set the break over Friday's high, 51.50 as the buy point. Otherwise, a little bit more extended, you probably have to buy either this red candle's high, so 52.75, or the peak here, 53.57. So this might need a little bit more tightening up, but one to watch for. That's NVTA. We have PFSI. So again, this was one that we've had on our watch list, got going a little bit. You see three up days on slightly higher volume through there. And then the Thursday, Friday pullback really set this trade up for the rest of next week. So we have two highs here, 60.69 and 60.94. So a break over 60.94 would be the buy point, Thursday's high. And zooming out, you get the 250 and the 50 is above the 8. That's a little bit concerning, not that perfect uptrend of all the patterns, but still one to keep an eye on. That pullback of 27% is relatively tight for the range that the breakout that it has had this year. It's PFSI. We go back to Peloton. So this was a name that I took off the watch list after the vaccine news came out and kind of tanked it. Then we had another vaccine Monday that pulled it down further, but it's been showing really good relative strength for something that's been such a stay-at-home stock. That rallied back up and then traded sideways the rest of the week, setting the ATR, getting much tighter. So a break over that would be Wednesday's high of 117.75 would be my buy point. You can see it does not violate my trading rules of if it pulls back below 40%. Sometimes I'll go in that 40 to 50% range, but ideally a stock that pulls back less than 40% from its highs still has some breakout potential there. The reason I don't like to trade stocks below 40% their pullback is typically the volume at those higher ranges will be a little bit heavier. That's called overhead. So when when stocks do break out to those higher ranges, you'll see a lot of people trying to just get out for even. So typically you'll see some selling pressure higher. So this one only 34%, not as much volume as what we built through here. So could be a name to keep an eye on. Next, we have REGI. This was a name that I tried to trade on Friday. Did not break over December 2nd's high of 60.93. That was going to be my buy point. You have the 250.28 all in the right order. Really strong breakout. Let's see, what's the year's low? Call it that. 300% off the 52-week lows. You do get this nice pullback under the 50-day. Still only 26%, but that's how tight this range has been lately. One undercut there. another pullback. Doesn't undercut the lows on this day, but does shake enough traders out. That was a move 17%. Third one, basically on the 3 days here, 11%. And then after Monday, this traded really tight. You can see ATR coming in, volume lightening up. So still using the same buy point. That was December 2nd's high of 60.93 as a possible buy. It's REGI. Next we have RGEN, RGEN. So we got basically the right order. The 8-day is under the 20-day. So not perfect, but still pretty good. We get a pullback 17%. So within 25%, that's ideal because you can be a little bit more aggressive on those types of names. So we would be looking for a break over 195.92, the high from December 1st, as a possible buy point there. That's RGEN. 4 more for you. If you guys are enjoying this, please leave a like and subscribe. Any comments help me out as well. So if you're taking a look at any of these stocks and I'm not covering something, comment below to help me out. So next we have SGMS. This is one that's been really frustrating to trade as well. So hoping once it does get going, it can really take off. 100% move in, call it a month. I think it's 4 weeks through there. We had an undercut of the low there, kind of shook out some traders. Fake breakout. So this is just throwing everything at the breakout traders because these shakeouts, the fake breakouts, those are tough to handle. What I wanted to point out, which I have to kind of hide that for, we started moving up here on higher volume, and since the peak, this volume has been so quiet. So even though it has pulled back 13% off the local high here, really quiet volume. You see ATR coming in. So this kind of becomes buyable with a break over Thursday's high of 38.25. And then you can use the stops, maybe a split stop under Friday's low and the 20-day simple moving average. That's only 4.5%. And then the rest of your stop under, you have 6.5% under the December 2nd low. That's SGMS. And I'm not trading every single one of these names. This is my watch list that I set alerts for. And if they set up during the week and I have some profit cushion to take new trades, then I'll take the ones that are looking the best. But just because I'm putting it on this watch list doesn't mean I'm trading every single one of these names. You should not be trading every single one of these names. So we have TFFP. This one had a really strong move, 460%. And then we get a really nice tighter pattern to trade. Pullback of 34%, so does not violate that 40% rule. So 34% through there, 23%, 15%, and 9%. So each of those pullbacks lighter and lighter. You can see you have the 50, the 20, and the 8-day all basically at the same price there. So of course, when that happens, average true range really comes in. Everything is nice and tight here. Ideally, we get kind of, let me clear some of those up. Ideally, if we get a couple days of kind of downward action that doesn't break over Friday's high, because then we could use a really tight entry point of Friday's high, 1591 as an entry. Otherwise, you could draw a diagonal from these two highs, and then that would be on, at least on Monday, that would be a break over, call 1617, not exact there, but you do want to get a kind of low entry point, because even though this is coiled tightly on the graph, a pullback to the previous lows is already 5.5, or the previous day's lows is already 5.5%. So if you're going to get any size on it with a tighter stop, you have to get in at a lower price. Be aggressive with your entry. So um, that's TFFP. We have the other one that I'm already in. This is TXG. Took the trade on Friday. This was on our watch list, I think 2 weeks ago, where let's show the picture. Really strong action through here. Something, yeah, 226 from low to high. And then we had that kind of undercut of the previous lows, 24% undercutting this pullback. So you like that action. And then it got really tight through here. So we were looking at a buy from 141.70, the previous kind of range high points through here. We got that action, broke out, huge volume on this day, and then a very low volume pullback, touched the 50-day and the 20-day simple moving average right here, and then got sideways action. I took the trade with a break over the high of Thursday, so that was 148.51. Or maybe I used Wednesday, 148.60, 10 cents difference. After it did that, basically traded sideways. It's at 149.04 right now with the high from Friday of 149.50. So break over 150 could be a pullback buy point for TXG. And wrapping it up, we have Zillow Z. This one really has been strong the entire year. You do have the 200, 8, and then the 20 and the 250, and then the 20 and the 8-day are right at the same spot. There, you have average true range really coming in as this tightens up. I'm looking at a break over December 1st, again, high of $111 as a possible buy point. You could get a little bit aggressive with that and just take a buy over Friday's high, but even with that, let's see, even with the break over December 1st high, using some lows from Thursday and Friday as your stop, that's only 4.5%. So I'm going to be, if I do take this trade, I'm going to be waiting for a break over that high. You really nice action through here. You see the 2 vaccine days pulled this back. This was rocketing off earnings, set this trade up for us. So let's keep an eye on that. All right, that is the breakout watch list for December 7th through the 11th. If you haven't already, please like the video, comment below what stocks that you're looking to trade. If I don't have them on my list, I'll take a look at any that I get in the comments. And make sure you follow me on StockTwits, Twitter, and TikTok, and subscribe to the channel. See you guys on either Tuesday or Wednesday for the midweek movers.